Hello AWS friends, and welcome to the third part of this video on AWS certification tips. We already covered IAM and security, VPC and networking, and an overview on the important services and how to answer questions on these services. Now let's have a look on the documents you have to read and to know to pass exams, and especially the well-architected framework and the 5 pillars. And how these 5 pillars can help you to read the keywords in the questions and how to read the questions and focus on these keywords to find the right answer. Here's an overview and list of training sources. Please have a look. Of course, it depends if you take a SysOps or architect or a developer exam, but some of them are really useful. And one of the most important documents and white papers is the well-architected framework, where you find the 5 pillars. And these 5 pillars is going to help you in many questions, and where you can focus on the keywords you find for these 5 pillars to answer the question. And this is what we're gonna look right now in the third part of this video. So the first one is operational excellence, the 5 pillars. The next one is security. The third one is reliability, and the fourth one is performance efficiency, and the 5th one, cost optimization. So you should be aware of these 5 pillars of the well-architected framework. And you will find many relations to these 5 pillars in the questions. So in the questions you might look for some of these words or some of these keywords, and then you know which is the focus of the question. So for operational excellence, please look for health and monitor, and this will be a hint. The service might be CloudWatch, CloudTrail, AWS Config, Elasticsearch. Then we already covered security. So these are, of course, for example, like address security issues. And we already have taken a look on some of the services and questions about web application firewall and guard duty and KSM and the stuff. Then you have reliability. And this is anything where you find something about scaling, failover, backup, high availability, and so on. And there's always a good chance the question is kind of focusing on load balancing, on clusters, and so on, auto-scaling. Performance efficiency, so where you find the best performance, fast, high IOPS, and high throughput. It's good to know the storage classes and their performances, like EBS and EFS and so on, to answer these questions. And the last, cost optimization, where you find something in the question like most cost-effective way. You find a lot of questions like this, the cheapest solution. And here again you have to know good storage classes of S3, of EBS, of EFS, the differences and the costs. So important to answer many questions, because the questions might be long, there's a lot of information, but you find 2 or 3 words which are going to be really important to answer the question. Then these are the keywords. This is going to be like the most cost-effective way, scalable solution, highly available, and so on. Let's have a look on these questions and find the keywords. You have a new dynamic web app written in MeanStack that is going to be launched in the next month. There is a probability that the traffic will be quite high in the first couple of weeks. In the events of a load failure, how can you set up DNS failover to a static website? So please read the 4 possible answers, and then we have a look on the correct one. And of course, this is going to be a failover with Route 53, and as you already can see in the question, you find the word failure to a static website, and this is quite an easy question. Next question, I'm not going to read it. Please read your own. Pause the video for a second when you're ready. We have two possible answers, and please look at these 5 answers and then we're gonna see the answer, the correct one. So the right answer is the EC2 instances behind a load balancer and the Route 53 to route traffic on the weighted road policy. You find the keywords here again in the question, scalability and elasticity. So be aware and read the question in the right way. Talking again about the 5 pillars in discussion about cloud services, please read the question your own, and then let's have a look on the right answer. Okay, this is of course availability, so be aware of these expressions. One more questions. So please read the question, find the keyword, and then let's have a look on the right answer. So you find the keyword, you have to monitor the instances, and of course this is a hint to CloudWatch. And the right answer is create a CloudWatch alarm. Next question. Please read the questions, take your time, pause the video for a second, and let's have a look on the 4 possible answers. And the right answer is code HDD. There are 2 important things in the question itself. So first, it's the most cost-effective storage, and this is code HDD. But it's not usable for all use cases, but you find here large and sequential I/O operations. And if you read the description for the storage classes, then you will find code HDD is a good match for this use case. Again, important to see, of course, the most cost-effective storage and the technical description on large sequential I/O operations. Next, gonna get probably a lot of questions about storage types, which one to use. It's good to know the S3 storage classes by heart. Let's have a look on a couple of questions concerning the S3 storage classes, and the first one is you need to store objects on S3 with cost effectiveness in mind. Which storage class should you consider? And in this case, with this question, it is going to be Glacier, because this is the most cheapest solution, and there's no other requirements here in the question. So let's differ the question a little bit. You need to store some easily replaceable objects on S3 with quick retrieval times and cost effectiveness in mind. So in this case, it cannot be Glacier anymore, and you could consider S3 one zone infrequent access, because you have quick retrieval times and it's the second cheapest solution. Let's alter the question again, and we're gonna add these objects must be resilient to the loss of a availability zone. Again, quick retrieval times and cost effectiveness in mind. And this means one zone infrequent access cannot be anymore the right answer. And therefore, this is going to be standard infrequent access, because we have the loss of an availability zone as a requirement. So that's it. I hope these hints were useful and helpful for you. And so take a look at the important documents, read the questions, read the keywords carefully. Know the most important services, of course, VPC and IAM security. And then be prepared, and I'm gonna sure you're gonna make the exam. Thanks for listening, and see you on the next video.